Hi everyone, this is Scott Dudley from Funnelshots Radio, and today my special guest is Jen Gordon from Atlanta, the founder of the digital marketing agency Funnelshots. How are you going, Jen?
I'm doing great, Scott. Happy to be here.
That's great. We've finally got your sound working.
hmm
All right, so let's jump straight into it. So just let's start off with a little bit about your background and how you got into marketing and funnels in particular in the first place.
Yeah, sure. So I'm a designer by trade, and I kind of fell into it not with a clear path. I was designing iPhone apps. It was in like 2007, 2008 when the iPhone first came out,
Oh yeah.
and I was designing iPhone apps, and then I realized, oh, I've got to sell these things, you know, and because I was completely fascinated by the iPhone and all the design aspects of it and that sort of thing. So I started looking into, okay, how do people sell things online? And I remember coming across like Russell Brunson and all these other guys out there. Lead Pages, Unbounce were just in their very, very early years, and so I got pretty closely aligned with Lead Pages and especially Unbounce at that time, and then got into it, and I was like, wow, this is really fun. Figuring out how to sell things, and coming from the design world, it was a whole new skill set. And I just saw how it could really amplify my design skills and bring another skill set to what I was offering that was very unique. And I didn't even know at that time how huge that was going to be for me later. Um, at the time I was like, yeah, I could also help with some marketing stuff. And that just exploded later because anyway, we can get into it. But how I got into it was basically I started designing and um, iPhone apps, started learning how to sell them. I had a nice base of client work where I was creating iPhone apps for clients. And the big thing that just sealed it for me was I started creating templates. This was in the early years before there were any templates for how to like design an iPhone app.
Yeah.
And so I packaged up a thing I called the mobile design starter kit.
Okay.
And I wound up selling, like, in just a few days, just a tremendous amount of those through a Mighty deal that I did. And it was literally the UPS commercial where it's like they're cheering because they got one order and then another order came in and they're like, oh, yay. And then like the 10th box comes through, like piled up with 10 more. And I was on the chat while they were running the deal. And I was like, holy Moses, this is insane. That was the moment where I was like, there's no going back.
Okay.
And so, that was the beginning, right around 2007, 2008.
Are you still doing the iPhone apps now, or you stopped doing that?
No, no, I got so just in just engaged by the whole marketing aspect of things
Okay.
and funnels and then copywriting. Just, I mean, all those elements of marketing overtook my interest. And I was like,
Yeah.
sorry, iPhone apps, nice knowing you. I'm in the marketing world now.
I guess though by that time there'd be a lot more competition for iPhone apps as well. Obviously, after they'd been around for about 10 years or so. So
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think the iPhone came out right around 2007-ish or so. Is that right? Yeah, I remember I was doing it when it first came out. It was the very early years, but you're right, even after a year or two, the gold rush was over.
yeah,
The gold rush, as they called it,
yeah,
was over. And I was literally just doing client work. But the marketing aspect of what I was doing for these clients was, and the technical aspects of what go into creating an iPhone app
yeah.
just required development. I just didn't enjoy it.
Yeah,
Bottom line, it's like
yeah.
I had some great developers. I just wasn't enjoying it. So
Makes sense. All right,
yeah.
so we'll fast forward a little bit to now. So let's talk a little bit about funnelshots.com. Is there a particular niche market that you're targeting for that?
Yeah, this isn't niche, but my sole focus there is just for ClickFunnels customers. And my initial goal there was to go after ClickFunnels customers who want to do a challenge. So if you want to niche down a level further,
Oh yeah.
challenge funnel people who want a pre-designed template that they can kind of plug and play their content into.
Okay, interesting. So
I'm really interested in like niche funnels. That's like the next series of funnels that I'm planning to work on are contest and giveaway funnels. So I really am looking to, in terms of niche and niche it out a little bit more, is only specific types of funnels that I can gain a huge mastery over. I'm rather new to the contest and giveaway funnel implementation, but that's next on my list in terms of what I want to really master. Um,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen
I'm
the.
also looking, I also really want to work with clients who have a desire for a great aesthetic. Like if that doesn't matter, it's not a big deal. I'm probably just not as good a fit for those kinds of, businesses.
Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, including yourself, how many team members are working at Funnel Shots?
Well, like I was telling you earlier, one of my largest clients brought me on full time. So I've got 10 people on my team right now.
Okay.
It's just, a range of people I'm managing, and we're doing a lot of exciting stuff. And so of course Funnel Shots is kind of back burnered for a while, but it's, yeah, it's part of we've got about 200 employees. We help people get published on Forbes and other large publications. That's kind of the crux of what we do.
Yeah.
And so we're running lots of funnels. We've got a huge sales team that does, works on the phone to help complement what I do on the marketing side of things. And so it's a pretty big operation for sure.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Mm-hmm.
So, like compared to, I guess, a lot of other teams that design funnels, it's not just the design, you also focus on conversion as well, because I guess it's a combination of both, isn't it? Conversion and design that's really the perfect
Mm-hmm.
funnel.
Yeah. What I find with design, sadly, as a designer, it was a kind of a hard hit to realize that design doesn't have as big an impact on conversions as things like copywriting,
Yeah.
having a great hook,
Yeah.
having a great offer, those kinds of things. That was a little, that was like, wow, okay. And that's when I got, I've read so much copy over the years from great writers that I started to pick up on
Yeah.
what works, what doesn't, what people respond to. And so, I think that what I found with design is it's great when you get into optimizing a funnel and you can go in and make some adjustments and see where, you can gain a percentage point or two.
Yeah.
I rarely see a design change give me a 10% lift. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Unless there's something hugely broken, and that's usually like a technical issue.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Which is a bit different. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. So do you also offer traffic and optimization as well as design as well?
No, I never got into that area. I feel like that's such a specialty and it wasn't an area of interest for me. Really, what I love is, developing really great offers and coming up with overarching messaging to
Yeah.
work with my writers and help them flush it out. And then keeping an eye on the design and optimizing the funnels. That's really, really what I love to do.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So tell us about one of your most successful marketing campaigns and also why you believe it performed so well.
Yeah, well, we had a really, really successful adjustment to one of our funnels at the company that I work for now, that essentially our value ladder really wasn't built out
Mm.
in an effective way. And so we help people get published on Forbes, and we really weren't giving them a lot of other tools to help them get the assets together that they needed to, get their articles online. We
Yeah.
have a whole team of editors and writers and all that will help them once they've actually written the article to get it into our pipeline, and we help them with tweaking it so we know Forbes will accept it, and that it'll make it onto the site. But what we did was we built on a whole copywriting add-on. Then we built on another add-on. It was just two beautiful steps up that value ladder, where we're helping them write it. We're writing it for them essentially as a ghostwriter.
Yep.
Then we are giving them some promotion of the article. So those are the two key things that our customers were coming back to us just saying, like, hey, how much, or there was one of their objections coming in is like, okay, well, you can get me published. I mean, how much visibility am I going to get? Am I going to get this? Am I going to get clicks back to my site? Am I going to get? And so we just started giving them what they were asking for,
Yeah.
and that's really simple.
Okay.
And we had, in the middle of a global pandemic, our biggest sales day in company history
Jeez.
2 weeks ago,
And
as a result of building out that whole funnel. Yeah.
gee, that's exciting.
It is exciting. I think it's a combination of our sales team's efforts and, of course, the offer. But when you get all that working together, it's literally gangbusters at this point.
Yeah.
We're having to figure out resources to handle all the orders. So it's
It's
great.
created different problems for you, but nice problems. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Excellent. All right. So I'd be interested to know, what are your favorite online tools and platforms that you use to run your business? So I probably already can guess a couple of them.
Yeah. Yeah, well, ClickFunnels is my favorite in terms of, whenever I just want, like, we use Hubspot with Community Co, and it's a very detailed system. We have two specialists on our team that's all they do, is they manage HubSpot for us. They help us do reports and build up, the automations and all that stuff.
Yep.
What, for me as a funnel builder, I like ClickFunnels because it's very easy for me to jump in, run a funnel. I ran a funnel for a client a few months ago that, I went in and optimized the whole thing myself. And it connected into their Infusionsoft. They're handling all the email marketing piece, and they're handling all the ads that come into the funnel.
Yep.
But soup to nuts, in terms of like managing and optimizing the funnel, I could do that in ClickFunnels. So I love that. I love what HubSpot can do too, but it requires a team. You got to have somebody who's a specialist there, because
Sure.
yeah.
Okay. So what is your biggest and most common mistake that you see your clients making sort of over and over?
Mm. Yeah, I think it's just not consistently optimizing their funnels, and just consistently getting in there to see. I mean, you have to be running traffic, of course, but
Yeah.
consistently getting in there, running traffic, testing different hooks, or offers, or how you have whatever you do packaged or named, um, like all those different things. It's amazing how much you can gain if you just stick with it and keep you know
Yeah.
tweaking the traffic, tweaking the messaging. They're like, I worked on this challenge funnel where um, they had been running some stuff that related to COVID and how to respond in your business and all that. And then the ads started to not perform as well. And of course, that starts to affect the funnel as well. And so she started shifting some things on the advertising side, because basically these people were not responding to the COVID, like how to respond to COVID in your business messaging anymore. They
Yes.
were kind of over it, and you have to realize, like, we're all humans, and we're like, sometimes we're just sick of seeing that, and I'm not going to click on that anymore. And so we had to make some adjustments to the traffic and see, okay, what will people, what's the next step for these people after they're done hearing about COVID? Okay, well, we're going to, test this messaging here. All right, well, let's move that messaging and make it congruent in the funnel now. And so, it's just so organic, I find, and you have to be willing to, make adjustments, and just make sure that the messaging is cohesive throughout.
Yeah.
What's kind of tough is when you've got somebody who's testing a bunch of different ads, and they can say, well, these 3 are performing well, and it's like 3 different messages. It's like, okay, we got to see, okay, which of those 3 plus
Yeah.
this is gonna, get them through. So it's a lot of fun. I love the fun you have in the testing, and it's just so fun to get a win and all that. So.
And there's endless sort of possibilities that you can test and try as well. There's so many different things that you can experiment with. So yeah, I agree with you. It's
Yeah.
fascinating. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Yeah. So getting back to the agency, what's the biggest challenge that you consistently have to face while running your agency?
Well, I think with what I'm doing for Community Code, the biggest, being on a larger team, is you're dealing with the work, which is breakneck pace. We have more publications coming down the pike, big publications that, you know, require there's a lot of legal things we have to consider in how we implement the partnership we have with these publications.
Yeah.
So there's so many moving parts to what we're doing just for the work piece of
Yeah.
it. And
Yeah.
then you have the remote piece. This company is all remote.
Okay.
You have the remote piece where you're trying to connect, with your coworkers, and then like as a manager, I'm also dealing with, you know, how to manage that personal relationship, build that relationship, get this massive amount of work done, and then also like project manage it in a way that people aren't burnt out, honestly.
Yeah.
um,
Okay.
because you know these these projects just have so many details. It's like my regular agency funnel world, times, I mean, I'm not, probably times 50. I mean, but I have a large team, but it's also just so many things going on, and we're working on ways to systematize. This is a tip for anybody who may be trying to optimize or systematize when they have like a great volume of work that they're handling. One change that we made that has made a gigantic impact on our productivity and just our systems, is we have moved all of our design, I would say probably 90% of our design, into Figma. It's a collaborative design tool that's basically a combination of Photoshop and Illustrator.
Okay.
And it allows design and development to get into the design files. The developers can get all the code they need. They click on the elements and get the code they need. The designers can collaborate with me in marketing, or we have a comms team, people in communications, and we're all able to jump into these design files real time and click and leave comments. There are shared libraries of design assets, which is huge for us because,
Okay.
as an example, Forbes, we've got all of these, Forbes logos that cannot like be adjusted at all. You know what I mean? And in other design elements that we want to use in other designs, all those live in a library, and you can just drag and drop the. It's anyway. It's exciting for me because it's literally probably it's cut out so much drama with like, where's that file? Is it on Dropbox? Is it in Illustrator? Where, you know, and then people who need a change, they don't have to wait for somebody to get into Photoshop and make the change. They could jump in and make the change. Like if it's a
Right.
simple copy change or something like that, and do the export and everything. So it speeds up that communication within the team, and it gets stuff done faster just because we're not waiting for some proprietary Adobe Creative Suite. You know, do you have Photoshop? Can you do that? That's all over with now. There are some print things that we do, and there's photo retouching, and there's some more really, like if you wanted to get really detailed, you know, in creating logos and things like that, um, you may want to do that in Illustrator, but I would say, I mean, literally probably like 90, maybe even a little bit more percent of our work is, all of it is in Figma now. And of course, our development team also uses it because we have apps that we produce. So, you know, now I'm also connecting with our development team. So we're all using the same graphical assets, and there's no question. It's like, I just go to the style guide in Figma, boom, you know? So
Okay. So
that's
what?
one little tip.
FIGMA, is it Figma? Is that right?
Yeah, Figma, Figma. And
I've heard of it.
if anybody's interested in learning how to set up a system like that, we have been so thrilled with how this has worked. I'd be happy to share with people how to set it up or how we set it up, because it's just such an efficiency gain. I can't even explain to you all the benefits. I'd be here for another 10 minutes just telling you all the details of what we what you know how much easier things are.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I understand.
yeah.
Okay, cool. So looking towards the future, what are you curious about or researching right now regarding digital marketing in the future?
Yeah, you know, I think that um well, something I'm noticing is, and I don't think it's going away, is, you know, our demand as consumers is for a more real human touch. I'm kind of the, I guess, anti-AI person here, but what I've seen with some of my customers, especially ones that wanted to just keep their evergreen webinars and didn't want to do in-person coaching, or didn't, you know, wanted to put all their courses online and have it be low touch, and, you know, the people just go through the course, and what it's like, people are less and less satisfied, it seems, just from
Yes.
the data I'm seeing, with just taking an online course and executing and being happy and being like, yay, that was so awesome. And I think that's why challenges are so popular right now, is because you get some of that coaching while you're going through a particular um, thing you're wanting to learn or thing you're wanting to improve. I think that that is for me a great curiosity, because I'm just like, I'm a community person in real life. Like I love my community. I love the people in my neighborhood, and like I'm that kind of person. So I find that human touch in terms of what we're doing, that realness, the infusion of people, like people getting online and being able to really connect. I think whoever can figure that out has a great future ahead of them. Hell, like you, Scott, you're in Australia. I
Yeah.
mean, my hope would be, you know, through the group that we're in,
Yeah.
is at least a few of those people, if I went to the city that they live in, that we would go grab dinner. Or if you came to Atlanta, I'd have you to my house. I'd cook dinner for you.
Yeah.
Like that transition between we met online and I'm going to cook you dinner.
Yeah.
Whoever can figure that out, to me, that's something I'd love to figure out, honestly, you know, like, and we do a lot of that at the company I work for. I mean, it's called the community company, but you know, we do make those kinds of relationships happen, you know, but I think, you know, I personally have very few of those instances in my life, and I'd like for it to be more. So
Yeah, interesting point. I guess that's sort of like taking personalization and segmentation to the next level, isn't it? Sort of.
yeah, right. To where it is like truly becomes an in-person experience. I'll tell you one quick story of a client that, she was doing a lot of online stuff, very successful for many years. And then that transition started to happen in her business where people wanted her time, one-on-one or in a small group. And there was some resistance at first, because it's a lot of work, to do the in-person or to do the small group experience.
Yeah.
But once she started doing it, I think I don't know if she wasn't sure if she'd enjoy it or if it was just going to be a massive amount of work with very little ROI. But what she found was just the opposite. She like tripled what she charges for that now, and people still sign up, and then she turned it into a live gathering where she actually got to, sort of like what Russell does with all his groups, but yeah, I think it is. It's like going, just like you say, it's kind of moving up that personalization
Yeah.
um, ladder, if you will.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's a great example that you provided as well.
Hmm.
All right. So, who are your marketing idols or the biggest influences on your career?
Um, I am a total geek when it comes to like I'm a copywriter. Like I idolize people like Clayton Makepeace. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
and her last name is escaping me right now, but Todd Brown introduced me to a lot of these people. There's a woman actually here in Atlanta. Her first name's Carlene, and she is, multi-million dollar copywriter that focuses in the health market. Those kinds of people that write these long sales letters, like I'm amazed by those people. So yeah, I think that aspect of, I really idolize those people. I really really find myself just having a huge amount of respect for people, just the marketers, like clients of mine who are also internal, their own internal marketers, just getting in the grind every day and like just testing, just the regular people. I mean, in terms of idols, it's not really a person, it's like a group of people who are just so passionate and they don't lose their drive. That's what I really find admirable.
I got a good reaction when I mentioned that I interviewed Brian Kurtz too when I sent you that message. I was
Yes,
impressed with that.
that's what exactly. I was like, whoa, oh my gosh. Yeah,
Yeah, he's the biggest guy or biggest marketing person that I've interviewed so far. So yeah, that was pretty exciting.
no doubt.
Yeah,
He's got some great stuff. He sends out a letter on Sundays.
yeah,
That's really good.
yeah. I read that as well. It's usually
Mhm.
really long, but because he's such
Yeah,
a good writer, it's interesting. So you read it. Yeah,
yeah, it is.
yeah. I
Yeah.
know what you're talking about. All right, cool. Just to wrap up, then, where can people go to find out more about your services and/or your products?
Well, I think I'd actually like to direct them to Community Co, because that's where I'm at right now, and I think your audience might actually find some value. There's some criteria, obviously to get published on Forbes, you have to meet certain criteria, and we also have some partnerships with local business journals here in America. It's a nationwide paper called Business Journals, and we've got some other new properties that are coming online. But if you go to community.co, you'll see all the properties we have. And if you keep an eye out over the next 6 months, you'll see a couple other big names appear there. And it's just a great way to get PR, to be able to have those trust symbols on your site to say, oh yeah, I was published on Forbes. Oh yeah, I was published on, the Atlanta Business Chronicle or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, it's a great way to do that. And I've done it for, I've connected some other agency friends with Community Co so they can, and I just got a text from a friend who said, hey, I just published my first article on Forbes. It's like, awesome, you know? So, so yeah, I'll send you the link and you can share it with them.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
All right, excellent. Thanks a lot for your time. I really appreciate
Got it.
the insights that you've shared with us today. And yeah, have a great day and we'll talk soon. Thanks, Jen.
Okay. Thanks, Scott.
All right, bye.